We have the monthly close this afternoon, so I'm doing a monthly closes video here. Just a quick update. We're going to look at the monthly closes on our favorite Bitcoin miners.
And before we get going, I'd like to bring attention to this small channel trying to grow that I have been acquainted with. So far, they've got 2 videos out right now about different fiscal histories, usually about fiscal catastrophes that happened throughout time. They've been very entertaining and interesting to watch if you want a break from the doldrums, a break from the, bad news headlines all the time, and just listen to something fun, some fun historical financial histories. That will be Capital Curiosities. Anyways, let's get into it.
We're going to start with CleanSpark here. We can see here the monthly closed actually up 21.58%, but you can see on all the momentum oscillators here, we got the BX trender. It's actually getting deeper in the red, as well as the volume. The volume is also getting deeper in the red. You can see that the RSI is still sloping downward, ever so slightly starting to curl up. We do have to conquer that 50 RSI on the monthly to really see a big move. So unless we get a really big move out of May, I'm not really expecting much better right now, unless of course Bitcoin takes off, which it could do. If it does, that'd be great. We did get an inside bar on the monthly here. You can see this monthly is inside the previous month, and the body is inside the previous body. So we got an inside bar there, even though you can see that the wick did wick out of it in a wild fashion in April. We closed to that inside bar there. That's actually a little bit bullish, so I don't hate that. The only thing that I'm kind of upset about is that we didn't really get a good breakout of any of these trend lines on CleanSpark. So I've been buying warrants down here at these levels. I am looking at Bitcoin to potentially break out. We did see an increase of 21.58% on the month, so hopefully May can give us some follow through before some sort of June lows come through. So let's keep our eyes on that right now. So I'm not like super uber bullish right now, but I am looking at potentially at least moving up to this next trend line up here at around $10-11 here for CleanSpark before potentially worrying about it rolling over. But of course, if Bitcoin just absolutely rockets off, well, then all bets are off. This thing's going to come out of this squeeze that it's been in for months and months and months and months, and come out of it pretty hard. All right, let's take a look at the warrants. The warrants, not much going on. We got an inverted hammer at the bottom of the move. That's actually kind of bullish. Nothing else to look at other than I can see it coming up back up to the 786 here on the fib, which would be the 37-cent mark. If we can conquer that, then we can open up to 64 cents, and so on and so forth, all the way back up to the highs. So that inverted hammer, not bad. I don't hate that. That's not too bad for that. And of course, if CleanSpark goes up, so will the warrants. Let's take a look at Mara. How is Mara doing on the monthly? Not great. Again, we got that inside bar. We printed that inside bar, at least with the body. The body is inside the body of the previous one. It did break out of this trend line here, this more aggressive trend line here, and the next one that we're looking at is all the way up at $21 for Mara, so that could be good. But if you look at the momentum and the volume, those have been getting worse, and they closed worse this month as well. So that's not good either. Same thing with the RSI as with CleanSpark. It's terrible. So we're going to need to see some pretty significant moves out of Bitcoin to see significant moves out of these miners. Right now, they're just so beaten down. It is looking like they're ready to continue to consolidate, maybe, and perhaps we won't see that really big blast off until Q4. But we'll be keeping our eyes on it and watching very closely. Let's take a look at Iren. Iren for the month closed actually positive 0.33%. We're coming out of that falling wedge that I've got here with those yellow lines, and we are just slightly above this trend line right here. Tried to touch that other trend line just above it, but we wicked and we created a doji. So Iren's actually pretty happy down here right now. And of course, like I said with all the others, if Bitcoin decides to take off, this one will as well. You can see that this one, it's just been losing momentum for months and months and months and months now. So this one, we need to see this print a higher high on the BX trender, and I want to see this volume start to spread open again to the green side versus continuing to squeeze down to the red side. So that's, I mean, it's looking like Iren's pretty happy where it is. Again, Bitcoin takes off, this will take off. Let's take a look at Riot. How did it close on the monthly? Plus 1.69%, significantly lower than what we saw from CleanSpark, as well as significantly lower than what we saw from Mara, which was 16.26%. Let's go ahead and look at that again for Riot. I do see, so last time we printed this exact same candle, like this exact candle, but it was red, was back in September 2024, and that was actually the bottom, and we got the really big rally out of it. So we're printing that exact same candle out of a much much more aggressive downturn, so that is promising. But the technicals aren't looking so good. BX Trender is getting deeper in the red. The volume also getting deeper in the red, and RSI is in bear territory. In fact, RSI hasn't really been very bullish at all on Riot since 2021. So we're really going to need to see some moves out of this thing soon to really see any salvaging of this year, of this run for the miners. And of course, it could be all just a calm before the storm in terms of things taken off to the upside. Let's take a look at how Digital did. They did minus 3.96% this month. That sucks. It's about to go red on the BX Trender there. That's bad. The volume is already red. The RSI is red. It also printed a doji on the lows, which is a confirmation of, being content. It's content down where it is. Price has found something of a midterm or short-term equilibrium down here. And it's looking like it's happy just to be trading right here until it's given a reason to do otherwise. And that's basically all it's going to do. On that monthly, it's content here. If Bitcoin does a big move up, it might do like a moderate move up. Might come up to touch the 50 month, which would be like 366 and would coincide with this trend line here. That would be pretty cool. But it's not looking like it's really giving me any other indications that it wants to do anything else. Let's take a look at Bitfarms. Bitfarms actually was decently up 26.73% on the month. That's the highest so far, but the BX Trender is still getting redder and redder, and the volume is getting redder, deeper in the red as well. You can see RSI is starting to point up though. It's still in bear territory, but it is pointing up now. So we'll watch it on the monthly to see if next month it can come up to the 50 and maybe cross it. That would be really good. Like I've been saying over and over again though, like this thing had this big double top up here. Let me draw it. It had this big double top on Bitfarms, and we have completed it. So that one can't hurt us anymore. It's not really making any more bearish patterns down here. It's looking more like a bullish pattern, but that bullish pattern really has an upside target of about 170, 171. And from there, it will need to form a new bullish pattern to then break out from. But I don't hate this. We bounced off the bottom of this channel down here. I'm expecting it to come at least to the middle, which would be about 143, if not all the way to the top before completely rolling over again. But 171 is a bit of that risky point. Now it could end up hitting that 171 and then going a bit wicking above it and then finding itself to drop from there. But I mean, even from here, that's a 71-cent gain. That's like a 70% gain from where it currently is. Not too bad if that were to play out. Personally, I'm not playing it, but it is there. And of course, nothing I say is financial advice and not a suggestion to buy, sell, or hold any asset whatsoever. Please do your own research, come to your own conclusions, be responsible for your own risk. All right. Let's see, how did Cifr do? Cifr made a little bit of a lower low, and then it's not an inside bar because it's a little bit outside of the body there from before, but yeah, this one's the same sort of story with all the other ones right now. The momentum is bad, the volume isn't good, and the RSI is also looking like it's trying to reclaim a 50 but having a hard time. That sell-off was just so sharp. If May comes in red, yeah, I'd expect June to also kind of like stay in this range between like $3 and $2, $2 and $3 on Cifr, and then at some point, maybe July, we'll see a pop up before a fade off into October. Or maybe we need to wait until October, and then after October we see just an absolute launch in November, December. It really depends on what Bitcoin's going to do at this point. Like all of these are pointing to like nothing of interest unless Bitcoin gives it a reason. Like every single one of these, even Corz, look at this. Corz, it came down. Oh, actually, I don't hate this though. Corz came to the bottom of this aggressive descending channel, right? Came above it, and on this month you can see it pushed up, and then it came up, tapped it from above, and then continued back up. That's actually pretty bullish. That's pretty bullish, especially like so. It came right into my support line here, bounced off of it with some volume, higher than most volume before, but not higher than the highest. So would have liked to see more body on this candle, but that's not the worst thing I've ever seen. It's still in a downtrend, but it could be basing. So this is an area where I'm expecting to see basing. Just like with everything else, Corz, I'm expecting to see some basing. Let's look at Wulf. Wulf printed us a doji down here, which is, again, saying that it's content with where it is. You can see that the momentum on the BX Trender there is getting worse. Further to the downside, you can see that the volume is about to pinch and go red. You can see that the RSI is below 50. Wulf is looking like it's content, kind of trading sideways where it currently is right now, and unless given a reason, and that reason would be Bitcoin breaking out in a big way. And that's really the story with every single one of these on the monthly. Like, oh, look at HUT though. Look at this on the monthly. It came almost perfectly to the bottom of this ascending channel and then bounced off of it just to print a doji down here, which means we're probably going to piddle around back down here, kind of like we did back here, you know, in mid 2024, right? We're just going to kind of go sideways a bit, maybe a bit of a chop sideways, chop solidation, as I like to call it. And then at some point we'll break out and see a nice move up out of this, maybe into the 20s, maybe back into the into the 30s for HUT potentially. We'll see. I wouldn't be surprised to see it, you know, sometime this year revisit the top of this ascending channel in like the high 20s, low 30s. But for right now, it's showing that it wants to consolidate. It's showing that it's content with where it is, and that unless given a significant reason, it's likely not to trade significantly higher than it currently is. Okay, Hive. Hive. Is it the same? Come on, Hive. Open up. All right. Hive. It was up 16.55% this month. Not too bad, but looks terrible. Came to the lowest lows here, right? Didn't break them, bounced off them. That's good. But of course, this is an inside bar. So we got an inside bar, which isn't, it's not bearish. It's not crazy bullish. I mean, if we get like one more inside bar, it would be pretty bullish. But it really, price needs to get above 220, 225, 227. I've started taking a small position on Hive. I bought like maybe $200 worth of it, just in case it takes off from here. So that's all I've been doing. I've been nibbling. I have been nibbling on these things, buying small amounts, nibbling, waiting for these things to break out, because I think they're going to consolidate for a little while, but that consolidation is going to end with an upward explosion, in my opinion. And if it doesn't, well, then I'll cut them. So Hive, yeah, I'm looking for Hive to basically over the next couple of months kind of hang out between 226 and about 135, and then eventually when it gets that breakout, we'll get that nice big green candle that'll take us out of this range and potentially hopefully up to that $4 or so. But everything else looks bad, just like everything else. It looks bad. Let's take a look at CAN real quick. How is CAN doing right now? All of a sudden I can't load anything, not sure why. Am I gonna have to quit here? No, it's on my phone. Okay, CAN was down 19.85%. So like relative strength to its peers, terrible. It's on the lowest lows right now. If it goes any lower, it's going to break down significantly. Yeah, especially this right here in December. Yeah, that was the top candle. Yeah, that looks like a top candle. I don't like that we pushed lower stacking. Look at like the bodies, they stacked to the downside. Don't like that. That's bad. This one looks bad. This one looks worse than its peers actually. So I probably personally I will be avoiding CAN. This looks bad. It would need to get back up, and honestly, it's got to get back up and above $1.56. Because basically, it needs to double up from where it currently is right now. Just stop looking bearish. Anyways, yeah, that's all I got for that one. Nothing else to talk about there. That's just bad. Btdr, we got a doji at the bottom coming out of this descending wedge, so that's bullish. I don't mind that. That wicked off the bottom there. We ended up the month up 8.38%. The momentum, though, you can see the momentum is getting worse. The volume is getting worse. The RSI is holding near 50, so that's not the worst thing I've ever seen today. But Btdr, again, Btdr, I really need to see it above 13.43 over here. Like I see it kind of consolidating between like $13 and like $8 for a couple of months, and then breaking out unless of course, like I said before with all these other ones, if Bitcoin breaks out, these will start to break out. And until then, they're going to kind of go sideways in this choppy sort of motion that's going to chop you out and can frustrate you real hard. But look at MicroStrategy up 31.86%. We printed a higher high on the month for MicroStrategy. You can see that the negative or the volume here is about the same there. The RSI is not overbought yet, but what we really want to see is what's going to happen here. So this is that area. This is kind of coming onto that area where I said we might see MicroStrategy roll over. If MicroStrategy starts to roll over in May, things are going to get a bit rough. So pay attention to MicroStrategy. This is breaking out ahead of everything else. Notice this nice perfect pullback, this perfect bull flag, and we're breaking out. This is the breakout candle. If we do not get follow through in May, bad things are on the horizon, at least for the next couple of months. Okay, so watch MicroStrategy for that. Anyways, that's all I've got for you today. Please like, comment, subscribe, check out the Trade Cave store, link in the description, as well as the channel bio, and have a profitable day.